ask you something. Have you ever fought a battle that no one clapped for? No spotlight, no recognition, just you against your fears, your doubts, your pain. The kind of battle that happens behind closed doors when it's just your willpower versus your weakness. If that's you, if you're grinding, growing, and no one sees it, this message is your fire. Because while your battles may be silent, your victories, they're about to get loud. Step one, the battles no one sees. The battles no one sees are the ones that shape us the most. They aren't dramatic. They don't come with music swelling in the background or crowds cheering you on. They're quiet, invisible, but they are real. They happen in the early mornings when your alarm goes off and everything in you wants to roll over and quit. They happen late at night when you're staring at the ceiling, your mind racing with fears, regrets, and what-ifs that no one knows you carry. It's the moment you choose to stay disciplined even though no one would blame you for taking a break. It's pushing through the workout, the business plan, the study session, the therapy, the healing process when no one's there to pat you on the back. It's choosing to believe in yourself when the evidence around you says otherwise, when everything in your life looks like it's falling apart, and you're still whispering to yourself, just one more step. These battles are brutal because they offer no immediate reward. You don't get a certificate for not quitting today. No one throws a party because you chose growth over comfort. You just do it over and over again, and it's exhausting because the world doesn't validate the invisible work. But that doesn't make it any less important. In fact, it's the most important. This is the space where character is forged, where self-respect is built, where confidence is earned, not inherited. It's where you stare down your insecurities, your limiting beliefs, and say, you don't own me. Not loudly, not publicly, but internally, with a quiet force that's more powerful than any motivational speech. And what makes it even harder is that no one claps for the days you kept going. They see the external transformation eventually, the success, the smile, the strength, but they have no idea the cost, the countless private moments where you almost gave in but didn't, the silent tears, the mental battles, the self-doubt you fought like hell to silence. These unseen battles are the reason loud victories happen, because what's built in silence becomes unshakable in public. Step two, resilience is built in silence. Resilience isn't something that shows up overnight. It's not a talent, it's not a gift. It's something that gets built brick by brick, moment by moment, and almost always it's built in complete silence. No fanfare, no recognition, just you against life. It starts when things don't go your way, when you're hit with disappointment, failure, betrayal, or heartbreak. And instead of falling apart completely, you decide quietly to hold it together. You choose to keep moving, even if it's just an inch at a time. That's where resilience starts forming, in the decision to not break even when everything in you feels shattered. No one claps when you wipe away your own tears and keep showing up. No one celebrates when you have to fake a smile while your heart feels like it's been split open. And that's the thing. Resilience doesn't require an audience. In fact, it thrives without one. Because in silence, the pressure is real, the pain is real, and the growth is earned. You learn to talk yourself through things, to coach yourself out of spiral, to breathe through anxiety, push through self-doubt, and hold on when the only thing you're holding on to is hope. Resilience is forged in the dark moments, when the lights are off and no one's around to see the struggle. It's built in the long nights of questioning your worth, your purpose, your future, and still choosing to believe there's more for you. It's built in the consistency of doing what's hard without expecting a reward, a thank you, or even a result. You show up not because you feel strong, but because deep down you want to become strong. And what makes resilience powerful is that it starts small. It's not loud or dramatic, it's subtle. Like choosing not to react when you're triggered, like walking away instead of lashing out, like staying disciplined when everything in your life feels chaotic. It's getting up the day after everything fell apart and doing what needs to be done, not because you want to, but because your future deserves it. Silence forces you to listen to yourself, to face your fears, to confront the version of you that you've been running from. And when there's no one around to validate your effort, you learn to validate yourself. You learn to clap for your own progress, to take pride in your own growth, to trust your own journey, even when it's messy and unrecognized. And every time you go through something that was designed to break you and you come out stronger, wiser, more grounded, that's resilience being built. It doesn't announce itself, it doesn't need to, it just grows in the background, quietly turning pain into power, setbacks into strength, and struggle into unshakable stability. Step 3, you win first in your mind. Winning doesn't start on the stage, in the gym, in the office, or out in the world. It starts internally, long before anything visible ever takes shape. You win first in your mind. That's where the true battle begins. Not against competitors, critics, or circumstances, but against your own thoughts, your own doubts. Your mindset is the filter through which you experience everything. If that filter is cracked, if it's filled with fear, scarcity, insecurity, then no matter what opportunities come your way, you won't fully step into them. You'll sabotage yourself before the world ever gets a chance to doubt you. That's how powerful your internal world is. It either becomes your launch pad or your cage. It starts with the questions you ask yourself every day. Can I really do this? Do I deserve more? What if I fail? Those questions shape your self-image, and that image becomes the thermostat for your life. You will never outperform the belief you hold about who you are. That's why people get stuck, not because they're not capable, because they've lost the mental game before the physical one even starts. When you win in your mind, something shifts. You stop waiting for external validation. You stop needing permission. You begin choosing who you want to become and aligning your actions with that vision before there's any proof that it's possible. And that takes power, that takes faith, that takes mental conditioning every single day, like an athlete training for an unseen match. It's deciding in silence, I am worthy, I am capable, I will figure it out, even if you don't feel it yet, because belief is a muscle, and if you don't build it, life will build your doubt for you. Winning in your mind means training yourself to focus not on the problem, but on the possibility. It means learning to see setbacks not as dead ends, but as feedback, not as failure, but as formation. Most people are waiting for evidence to believe, but champions believe before the evidence. They mentally commit to the outcome before there's any sign that it's working. That's why when they finally achieve it, people call it overnight success, because they never saw the mental war that had already been won behind the scenes. Your inner voice is your most constant companion. It's either building you or breaking you, and if you don't take control of that voice, it will be controlled by fear, by past programming, by other people's opinions. Winning in your mind means becoming intentional with that voice, feeding it strength, feeding it direction, saying, this is who I am, this is where I'm going, and nothing will take that from me. It's a decision you make daily to keep your mind focused when distractions beg for your attention, to keep your thoughts empowered when life feels overwhelming, to trust your next step even when the staircase isn't fully visible. Because once your mind is aligned with your mission, everything else starts to shift. The confidence, the energy, the habits, the results, they all follow. But the first battle, it's invisible, it's internal, it's the mental decision to win, no matter what. Step 4, progress is a private struggle. Progress isn't glamorous. It's not what people post on social media. It's not the highlight reel. It's not the polished version of you that the world claps for. Real progress is raw, it's lonely, it's uncomfortable, and more often than not, it's a private struggle that no one else sees or understands. It's not the transformation photos or the big breakthrough moments that define growth. It's the daily grind. It's showing up when you're tired, uninspired, and uncertain. It's putting in effort when the results are nowhere in sight. It's doing the reps, having the hard conversations with yourself, and facing your own limitations in the mirror. No cameras, no applause, just you and the work. Progress demands consistency in the face of doubt. It demands that you keep moving forward, even when you feel stuck, when nothing seems to be changing, when no one is acknowledging your effort. That's the part people don't talk about enough, the mental weight of trying to become better when the world offers no confirmation that you're getting anywhere. And that's because transformation happens quietly. You don't wake up one day and everything's different. It's slow, it's subtle, it's invisible from the outside. You're evolving inside out, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, long before anything shifts externally. And that process, that's where the real power lies, not in the destination, but in the decision to keep walking the path, especially when it's steep and dark. It's battling habits you've had for years. It's learning to regulate your emotions, not just react to them. It's holding yourself accountable when no one else is watching. It's choosing the long game when everything around you is pushing you to seek shortcuts. That internal struggle, that discipline, that self-honesty. It's brutal, but it's necessary because true progress doesn't come from performing for the world. It comes from showing up for yourself over and over again, even when there's no reward in sight. It's about getting to know the version of yourself that you're not proud of, the insecure, lazy, fearful side, and choosing to face that version head on, not hide from it. It's sitting in discomfort without trying to escape it. It's falling short and getting up again, not for recognition, but because there's something inside you that refuses to settle. There are no shortcuts here, no hacks. Just the long, unglamorous journey of slowly becoming who you're meant to be. And while others may not see your internal fight, they'll eventually see the strength, the clarity, the presence that comes from it. But by the time they see the progress you already know, it was born in struggle, nurtured in silence, and earned through 1,000 private moments of choosing growth over comfort. Step 5, the power of internal dialogue. The way you speak to yourself is the foundation of everything you experience. Your internal dialogue, those constant thoughts, that voice inside your head is shaping your reality moment by moment, whether you're aware of it or not. It's not just background noise, it's the script you're living by. And that script determines how you respond to challenges, how you interpret failure, how you carry yourself when no one else is watching. Internal dialogue is the root of confidence or the source of self-destruction. It's the story you tell yourself when you're tired, when you're unsure, when you're standing at the edge of your potential and fear is whispering in your ear. If that story is filled with limitation, doubt, and self-criticism, then even the best opportunities can feel out of reach. But if that story is empowering, resilient, and full of belief, you become unstoppable, not because everything is easy, but because your mindset refuses to quit. It starts small. The way you respond to mistakes, the way you handle discomfort, the words you choose when things don't go as planned. Are you tearing yourself down with "I'm not good enough, I always mess this up, I'll never make it"? Or are you choosing to rise with thoughts like, "This is hard, but I'm learning. I've come too far to quit now. I've got what it takes"? That choice matters because repetition becomes belief and belief becomes behavior. Your internal dialogue is your inner coach or your inner critic, and the louder one usually wins. Most people live their entire lives being bullied by their own thoughts, replaying old wounds, outdated beliefs, and toxic conditioning from childhood or past failures. And they never question it. They never rewrite the narrative. They never stop and say, wait a second, does this voice even belong to me? You have to become intentional with how you speak to yourself, especially in the hard moments. When everything feels like it's falling apart, your internal dialogue becomes your anchor. It's what decides whether you fall into despair or rise with purpose. And this isn't about pretending everything is okay. It's about telling yourself the truth in a way that strengthens you, not weakens you. Because the truth is, you're capable of more than you give yourself credit for, but you'll never touch that potential if the voice in your head keeps pulling you back into fear and insecurity. That's why mindset work isn't optional, it's essential. You don't need better luck or better timing, you need a better relationship with yourself. And that relationship begins with the words you use when you talk to you. You can't control everything that happens around you, but you can control the narrative you carry within you. And when you master that, when you train that inner voice to speak with strength, clarity, and purpose, you'll become your own source of motivation, your own source of power. Step 6, let your results speak. You don't need to announce every move you make. You don't have to justify your path, prove your worth, or convince anyone that you're on the right track. When you truly locked in on growth, you start to understand something powerful. Real results don't need explanation. They speak for themselves, loudly, clearly, and undeniably. There comes a point in your journey when you stop needing the validation of others because you're too focused on doing the work. The late nights, the early mornings, the sacrifices, the discipline, none of it is glamorous and most of it is invisible. And that's exactly why your results are so powerful. Because when they show up, they carry the weight of everything you endured to get there. You don't have to argue with the people who doubted you. You don't need to go back and explain yourself to those who didn't believe in your vision. You just keep building quietly, consistently, and relentlessly. Because when your progress becomes visible, the conversation changes. The same people who once questioned your path begin to ask how you did it. And the answer isn't in a speech. It's in your results. This doesn't mean you never speak up. It means you choose to let your actions do most of the talking. You pour energy into execution, not explanation. You're not trying to impress the world with promises. You're showing the world what commitment looks like when it's followed through day after day. Your wins become undeniable, not because you screamed for attention, but because you earned it. And this type of power, it's quiet, but it commands respect. When you let your results speak, you're no longer caught in the cycle of proving or pleasing. You rise above it. You step into a place where your work ethic becomes your identity, where your consistency becomes your credibility. People stop listening to what you say you're going to do and start paying attention to what you've already done. This is where growth becomes magnetic. Because people can feel authenticity. They can feel when success is built on real effort and not just empty words. You didn't fake it, you made it. Through grit, through patience, through resilience. And now your life speaks volumes without you ever having to raise your voice. It's not about being silent forever. It's about letting your silence be the space where your actions grow strong enough to make noise without you saying a word. Your results are your receipts. They're the evidence of your persistence, your sacrifice, your evolution. And when they show up, they tell a story louder than anything you could have said along the way. So here's what I'll leave you with. You don't need to broadcast every battle. You don't need to justify your journey. The world doesn't need to see the scars to know you've been through the war. Because the real ones, the ones who build something unshakable from the inside out, know that the loudest victories rise from the quietest places. Let the world wonder how you did it. Let them question your silence, your process, your grind. And when they finally see the results, they'll understand that while they were watching, you were working. While they were doubting, you were becoming. And while they were speaking, you were preparing to let your life speak louder than any words ever could. You don't need noise, you need purpose. You don't need attention, you need alignment. Keep fighting the silent battles. Keep building in the dark, because one day the light will hit and the world won't just see what you've achieved. They'll feel who you've become. That's the victory. That's the power. That's the legacy.